We're looking at cards of Habs captain Nick Suzuki today. So what cards are going to make the list? And shout out to the viewer who requested this video and who dropped it in the comment section of the recent Moritz Seider video. So remember to check that one out if you missed it. And of course, thanks again to all of you who watch and comment. Okay, now let's get this party started. Coming in at number 10 and selling for $11.75 Canadian on eBay. We start off the show with a banger. It's a Nick Suzuki rookie patch auto from 2019, the Cup. Decent looking two-color patch with the white and blue. Though you can see right here it's starting to fray a little bit. And I'm always looking a lot closer at patches these days, especially after reading about the Sidney Crosby Cup RPA with the altered patch that was sold on Golden. Check out my Ovechkin video if you want more info on that. Ay, ay, ay. This is graded a PSA 8 and numbered 97 of 99. And this sold on October 19th with 18 bids. Coming in at number 9 and selling for $1,200 Canadian on eBay. We have a Suzuki rookie patch auto from Splendor. This one has a sweet patch with 3 colors. Pretty nice looking card with red, blue, and white Habs colors and the nice gold trim. This is graded a BGS 9 and number 5 out of 36. This sold on August 30th with best offer accepted. And these Splendor RPAs could be pulled from boxes of 2019 the Cup. And here's the list of the rookies you could pull. And here's a Jack Hughes Splendor RPA that sold for a little over $1,500 Canadian on November 2nd. And then this Cale Makar sold for $2,500 Canadian on October 19th. I couldn't find a Quinn Hughes sale, but currently you could pick one up for $1,000 on eBay. And his prices have definitely started to spike over the past couple months. Coming in at number 8 and selling for just over $1,200 Canadian. We have a Nick Suzuki rookie auto from 2019 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. This one is an Emerald Surge and numbered 5 out of 10. This one is nicely centered and graded a PSA 10. Pretty sweet looking card. This sold on October 19th with 41 bids. Coming in at number 7 and selling for $13.25 Canadian on eBay. We have a unique collection of cards from 2019 SP Game Used. It's the Suzuki Draft Day Marks with all the nameplate letters. So a big congrats goes to the seller for putting this collection together. I'm sure collecting all 6 letters wasn't an easy thing to do. These were sold raw and are all numbered to 36. This sold on November 9th with 24 bids. And how hard would it be to make 2 full sets of 6? Well, this seller apparently did because there were 2 sets that sold. There was the first set I showed, which sold for $13.25 Canadian. This sold in auction and ended with 24 bids. The auction ended on Thursday, November 9th at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. And then the second sold for $11.25. This also sold in auction with 27 bids. And this auction ended the same day and 1 minute earlier at 5:51 p.m. Pacific time. Anyone have any thoughts on auctions? I feel like sellers should stagger their auctions a bit more. Personally, I found myself losing on one auction and not having enough time to switch to another auction because it's expiring in 30 seconds. But I get that some sellers have hundreds of listings counting down. And this seller definitely got more for the second nameplate set, so it seemed to work out well. But I wonder if there was an extra 5 minutes or so, would some of the losers of the first auction be bidding on the second? Maybe if there was just a bit more time? I was trying to bid on a couple of the Gretzky Red Rooster long hair cards a little while back, and there were a handful of auctions all ending within minutes of each other. So really I could only focus on a couple. And I would have liked to have had a few more extra minutes so I could pay more attention to some of the other listings. But that probably saved me some money. But I don't sell stuff in auction, so I'm only thinking of what it's like as a buyer. Coming in at number 6 and selling for $16.50 Canadian on eBay. We have a Nick Suzuki Future Watch auto from 2019 SP Authentic. This is a nice one because it's an inscribed version. This was graded as a 9.5 by Mint Grading and numbered 41 of 999. And this sold on September 24th with 23 bids. And more about this card a little bit later on in the show. Coming in at number 5 and selling for $18.75 Canadian on eBay. We have another from 2019 SP Authentic, and it's a Future Watch RPA. This is graded a PSA 9 and numbered 31 out of 100. And this sold on November 10th with best offer accepted. Coming in at number 4 and selling for $21.40 Canadian on Golden. We have a nice looking card from 2019 Ultimate Collection, and it's a Nick Suzuki VIP Mastery Rookie Shield card. This is graded a PSA 8 and numbered 1 out of 1. This sold on September 24th with 4 bids. And this card actually wasn't even found in boxes of Ultimate Collection. This is one of the top prizes for Upper Deck E-Pack collectors in the Ultimate Collection Quest Challenge, where you collect points to climb a leaderboard, where obviously the more you spend, I guess the better your chances. So the top 200 could win some pretty cool prizes, with some of the top prizes being rookie autographs, as well as these one-of-one NHL Shield cards. And then if you're lucky enough to make it in the top 6, you could be a winner of a VIP Mastery Shield autograph, which are also one-of-one. I couldn't find any sales history for the VIP Mastery autos. The highest sale I found was from September 2022 for this Cale Makar Shield one-of-one, but this doesn't have an autograph. Drop a comment if you have any thoughts about these cards. Or if you're an E-Pack collector, and if you participated in the Quest Challenge or something similar. Comment at number 3 and sell them for $21.75 Canadian on eBay. We have something from 2019, the Cup, and it's a rookie button autograph. And this is the green version, which is numbered 3 out of 3. This is sold raw and sold in auction on November 2nd with 25 bids. Coming in at number 2 and selling for $35.50 Canadian. We have a Suzuki RPA from 2019 Premiere, and it's a rookie acetate auto, the platinum blue version. This is sold raw, and this is numbered, let's see, where was the number on this card? Oh, here it is. It's a one-of-one. This sold on November 2nd with 57 bids. And number 1 on our list today and selling for almost 6,600 Canadian on PWCC. We have a beauty of a card. This is from 2019 SP Authentic, and it's a rookie patch auto, and it's the black gold ink version. This is graded a BGS 9 with a 10 auto, and this is a one-of-one. And this sold on October 22nd with 56 bids. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, let's take a closer look at card number 6 on the list, the Inscribed Future Watch auto, which as a reminder was graded a 9.5 by Mint Grading, numbered 41 of 999, and sold for $16.50 Canadian in auction with 23 bids on September 24th. So as I was doing my research, I also came across this Inscribed Future Watch and quickly realized it's the same card, just a different sale. So we'll call this one 6B. And 6B sold for quite a bit less and sold for 1,025 Canadian in auction with 31 bids on October 21st. So quite a big drop in price from $1,650 to $1,025. That's a difference of $625. But what happened to the first sale? Card number 6A. What's going on here? Is it just an unlucky resale? Someone trying to flip and got jackrocked? What happened? And after doing a bit more digging, I started to wonder if perhaps there was some shill bidding happening. Uh-oh. So if you're not quite sure what shill bidding is, if you look at what eBay says, they define shill bidding as when someone bids on an item to artificially increase its price, desirability, or search standing. So is that what's happening here? Well, let's take a closer look. If you're ever curious about how an auction ends and want a few more details, you can click on this area here where it says 23 bids, which is how many bids that were entered in this particular auction. So if you click on that page, it takes you to this bid summary page. And once we're here, we can start at the bottom. You can see the times of all the bids and the bid amounts. And the left column shows the bidder, which is actually kept fairly anonymous. But what you can look at is the number in brackets, and this shows their feedback score. So a high number shows that they're pretty active and they've made a number of purchases on eBay, and then a low number shows they haven't done a lot of transactions, or they could just be a new account. So what really stands out to me are some of these bids. So we have a bunch of bids on September 17th when the auction begins. And this makes sense because it's a pretty unique and popular card. And then the auction caps that day at 850 Canadian. Then the next day on September 18th, there's a bunch more bids. We have 7 bids and the price goes from $8.50, and at the end of that day, the price is now $14.50. Then there's no action from September 18th till possibly September 20th. Not sure why this transaction here, 4th from the top, is slightly out of order. But it looks like things go pretty quiet till Saturday, September 23rd, where on this day we see the price go from $1,500 to $1,650. And the stuff that raises a red flag to me is 2 of the last 3 bids, where you can see the bid of $1,575 and the final bid of $1,650 are made by an account with 0 feedback. So maybe it's a new collector on the platform and they just want to buy this Inscribed Future Watch auto? Well, that's entirely possible. And there are obviously new collectors coming into the hobby every day, so it's really hard to know what's going on. But it looks a little suspect to me. But another way to look at it is maybe the sale was canceled because the buyer with zero feedback had no intention of actually buying the card, and that they just wanted to see the value climb as high as possible. And unfortunately for them, their last bid ends up being the highest. You can see the bid of $1,650 comes in on Saturday night, and that's the final bid. Nobody else bids over the next 10 hours or so, and the auction finishes on Sunday morning. So this scenario is also possible. Just a reminder to be careful anytime we're shopping online. And it's really hard to get a true idea of what this card is actually worth. I couldn't find any other recent sales, and the only current listings now are these two. A PSA 10 and a BGS 9.5, but definitely seem to be a little bit overpriced. But something seems to happen to make this sale not go through, because eventually we see this go back up for sale about a month later. So one other thing I looked at was info on the seller. And you can see that the seller has 100% positive feedback and has been a member since 2015. So it seems like a legit seller account. And let's be clear, I dug a bit deeper, but this wasn't some sort of thorough deep dive like an investigative journalist would. I didn't contact anybody to ask questions or get any more info. I maybe did a bit more research because I'm making a video, but that's about it. For this part of the segment, I just wanted to show our viewers a bit more what I'm seeing, and mostly as a reminder to do your due diligence when making purchases on any auction site. Shill bidding definitely exists, and there's some stories over the past few years that definitely highlight this. And there's an interesting story floating around on some of the YouTube channels that I follow. They've done some interesting coverage of this Eli Manning card that has some people speculating about what's going on, and possibly some shill bidding happening. So I'll leave it to you to follow up if you're interested. But these channels are ones I keep tabs on. They mostly seem to cover US-based stories, and lots of stuff about football and basketball cards. So if you're interested, check out AIH Sports.
He says, meanwhile, Handful were also bidding on this one, but you didn't say that you didn't pay for it. That's the thing. Anyways, I want your thoughts. What are your thoughts about shill bidding, mega bidding? I think Hanky Panky went on. I think Hanky Panky went on here with Pac-Man, or with someone giving the box to Pac-Man so Cade Cunningham could pull his own card. I believe it's rigged and scripted. What do you think? You think Hanky Panky's going on?
Some good coverage there. There's Dan, the card man.
Now, this is where sort of things get interesting because, like I said, through matching the feedback and then the, items listed by this seller and then also listed on Rob's Instagram page, he got to the conclusion pretty quickly that they were, in fact, Rob's accounts that he was bidding on and then not paying. So very much looked like shill bidding. And the other thing to point out is that it wasn't just this one Eli Manning gold prism. There was, I think, one or two other auctions that he also didn't pay for in the same listing from this seller.
Definitely dives deep into this type of stuff. And then Sports Card Radio.
The hobby positivity crowd might want to turn off this video right now. We're not blocking out the negativity here. We're diving headfirst into it. We have a sports card influencer who is being accused of shill bidding, but it's what he's done after being caught that has the hobby on high alert. Speaking of shill bidding, Jeff Wilson made a comment defending a seller often accused of shill bidding. Does Jeff need a hobby history lesson? And a new website is out that shows just how overpriced the breaks that come.
They create some interesting content and definitely highlight some of the sort of darker parts of the hobby. So definitely check those out if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about this Eli Manning card. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
What do you think? You think Hanky Panky's going on?